Hey everybody, it's Chuck Barone. It is now Thursday, July the 4th, 2000, July. I'm still in December, guys. Thursday, January the 4th, 2024. Man, these days are getting away from me, man. I can't even believe how fast time seems to be flying. Let me tell you young people out there that are watching, if you're under 30, and days seem to drag, enjoy that. Because when you get to a certain age, you blink your eyes and years go by. Time just seems to, it's relentless. It just keeps on rolling. And it makes you miss simple dates. Anyway, before I ramble, which I tend to do, let me take a half a second and welcome everybody to the show. And as always, thank you guys for your support. You guys watching the videos keeps us going here. We appreciate it, guys. All right, so let's talk about these markets today. A lot of stuff going on today. Lots of little stuff to talk about. Markets today reacting. We got ADP coming out today. Now, you guys know how I feel about ADP. Not exactly the most reliable. They came out with a jobs report that the markets didn't really like. So the markets now kind of went from looking okay to not so great. Now they're kind of just laying there flat to finish. I think everybody's waiting to see now what the data looks like tomorrow for the non-farm payrolls, jobs, and because the worry, well, I'll get into jobs later, but jobs today causing the market to kind of have a weird day. So it ends very mixed. The Dow actually ekes out a small gain up 10 points, 37,440, which is basically a non-event on the Dow. The NASDAQ falls 81 points, 14,510, and the S&P down 16 points, 4,688. So stocks mixed, broader market down. Fears of this jobs report tomorrow might slow the Fed down in their cuts. So the bond market reacted to that pretty strongly today. Bonds falling again, rates rising. The 10-year up another 8 basis points. These are odd days, guys. 3.99 now, breaking back up over 4. I was just laughing. It went from like 4.25 all the way back down to around 3.5. Now it's right back up at 4. The bond market does not typically whipsaw around like this, man. It's just crazy to watch it. The 2-year also up today. Bond prices on 2-year falling. It's up 7 basis points, 4.39%. So bond yields climbing again. Now the spread is narrowed down somewhat. It's only about 40 basis points right now, but it looks like rates are on their way back up for a little bit. We'll see how the report comes tomorrow. If the job report comes in and ADP is wildly off and they're overestimating, you could see a pretty big rally in bonds tomorrow. If they're wildly off and they underestimate, you could see bond prices tank again tomorrow. Dollar today basically flat, waiting on this report, down basically 1 basis point, 102.40 on the index. Still a strong number for the dollar. And we'll see how it looks tomorrow too. It's crazy. This is all tied down to these simple reports that we're going to get tomorrow. Metals today had a slight gain, with gold rising $2.40. Now sitting at $2,043.60 for an ounce of gold. Silver up 3 cents today, $22.98 for an ounce of silver. Silver and gold, it's going to be all about where the dollar goes, I believe. Gold holding up strongly in the face of this rally into the dollar. So I think gold's looking good right now. Silver's the lagger. That's the one I'm surprised. I thought we'd see silver well above $25 by now. Not there yet, but it's going to happen. It's for sure. Oil today down very small, down 30 cents per barrel, sitting exactly where we expect it to be, $72.40 for a barrel of West Texas Intermediate. Oil prices were kind of looking like they were going to creep up. Then the inventory numbers came in and showing the inventory climbing. So oil, I think, as I've been saying for a while, it wants to be in that trough between 70 and 75 a barrel. I think it's going to stick there for a while, but if it breaks out, my feeling, despite all this crap in the Middle East, my feeling is there's a little bit of pressure on oil to come down right now. Now we'll see what happens when the U.S. goes to buy oil to refill the strategic petroleum reserve, which Biden kind of sold a lot of oil out of to keep gasoline prices down. We'll see. Oil's interesting, but it's right kind of where we expect it to be. Bitcoin rallies up today, $1,619, now sitting 44,561. I was reading an article today. They were saying that if these ETFs, if even one of them becomes a reality, especially for a bigger company that can really market the hell out of it, because they'll get everybody else involved, you could see $80,000 Bitcoin by the end of next year, or by the end of this year. We'll see. I think that might be a little optimistic, but this stuff's wild, and the price fluctuations are crazy. So we're going to watch that one too. All right, so let's talk about the news today. Obviously, the big news, jobs. Today and tomorrow, all about jobs. So jobless claims come in, 202,000. That's down from 220 last week. Continuing claims also coming down. And ADP, on their report, says private payrolls increased by 164,000. That doesn't include government payroll, right? 164,000 in private payrolls. Job openings falling, but still sitting near 8.8 million jobs available. Okay? I think that jobs is important due to the way the Fed looks at jobs. You know, the Fed feels like a hot jobs market causes inflation. I'm not so sure if that's exactly accurate, but a hot jobs market does tend to lead to wage gains for people who are working. And, they want to, obviously, the supply side government, the management side, wants to kind of keep those wages down. So the market's having to fear here that if the jobs report comes in hot and continues to stay hot, the Fed might postpone the rate cuts that the market is planning on seeing start as soon as March. We'll see. We're going to get CPI next week. We'll see where that comes in. Some of the numbers I've been seeing do not look promising. So we'll see. We're in for a wild ride here, and it's going to be fun. But I really feel pretty much invulnerable to it. I'm in a position where the markets go wild. I'm going to seesaw up and down like everybody else, but I don't really see any way I can get catastrophically smashed. I think that the big threat for a guy like me this year, mortgage guy, is rates continuing to stay high. We'll see. All right, moving on. So jobs today coming in hot. Tomorrow's the big day. That'll be the overall jobs picture, the total number of jobs created. We'll see where that one comes. All right, so let's move on. Amazon, one of my favorite greedy corporate companies. You guys might have heard by now, but they're going to be adding commercials to their TV package on Prime. Now, you may or may not be aware, again, they raised the price of Prime again. So now Prime this year costing $139. They're already playing ads on the music platforms. TV coming on. I guess you can get rid of the ads for a small fee of $3 per month. And I'm sure a lot of people are going to pay that. Amazon, man, are their numbers so crappy that they need to do this? Or is it just straight up greed and bottom line fattening? They said this simple move right here, this one move, could add $5 billion a year to their revenue stream. Just for making advertisements on Prime TV. Well, I think it's a little bit piggyish. If you're going to add the ads onto Prime and you're going to, it's the same corporate mantra they always have for us, right, guys? Pay more, get less. Pay more, get less. You see that with the shrinkflation, the packaging shrinking. They're still charging the same price or more. Charge more, get less. You see, that's the corporate world now we're living in. You know, I'm old enough where I can remember when the corporate world was not as obsessed as they are right now with only the bottom line. And we've kind of conditioned people now to believe that, you know, the job creators should be able to get away with anything they want. And I understand we shouldn't be restricting what corporations do and their prices. Okay, I'm not suggesting that. What I'm suggesting is if they're only fattening the bottom line, so three guys at the top can make more millions, is that really good corporate policy, good corporate governance? They're already fattening up their bottom lines with these mammoth stock buybacks that only benefit, you know, shareholders and the management team who sees the prices go up and fattened up their own bonuses. This corporate greed's going to end in tears, guys. It is. Consumers have finally had enough. You're starting to see this now. Streaming services getting cut up. Brand loyalty completely in the crapper. Nobody cares anymore about the brand. I saw today, I was reading an article, a European supermarket, I can't remember the name of it, now eliminating Pepsi products from the shelves due to unreasonable price hikes. So no Pepsi, no Doritos. They're taking a lot of Pepsi products down because they feel like they're gouging their customers. I was like, holy crap. And they're going to have, instead of the product, they're going to have a picture and an explanation of why the product is no longer there, and exposing these corporations for raising prices in a huge way with no increase in their own costs, right? Crazy times we're living in, man. And it seems like consistently getting crazier, man. It's wild. A new high today for consumers. Go consumers. Listen to this, guys. More than 35% of consumers could not handle a simple financial emergency. It's a new world record, highest ever recorded. Something simple like your hot water tank goes out, or you got a car repair you got to do. Can't pay it. Can't do it. Not even using debt. They're so maxed out, they can't even use a credit card to pay simple emergencies. 20% of credit card holders have asked for an increase in their credit limits. Really? Companies turning everybody down, by the way. Credit cards being way more selective about how they're doling out their credit. I think if you've asked for an increase, you might have seen this. Some of you might have seen, like a lot of people have, where they involuntarily cut your available credit, especially if you have high limits and you're not really using much of it. Fascinating stuff, man. Consumers, the death of the middle class, we're watching it happen in front of our very eyes and still sticking up for corporations. Okay, a couple quick tidbits. U.S. bankruptcies last year in 2023 rose 18%. And they're seeing at least that big of an increase again in 2024. So consumers going under, businesses going under, gigantic rise in bankruptcies. Office delinquencies, office loan delinquencies. Okay, we're talking commercial real estate, loans on office buildings hit a 5-year high. People not paying those loans off, going to be walking away from properties. We've been talking about this commercial real estate collapse that's happening way, way, way behind the scenes. It's going to happen, and it's going to get loud sooner or later when banks are looking at losses of up to $160 billion. Going to be hard to sweep that under the carpet, man. So that's interesting stuff. Listen to this. 45,000 home buyers canceled their contract at the last minute last month. Continuing this trend of homeowners blowing out transactions at the very last minute. Cold feet, looking at the reality of a payment close to $3,000 a month just to own a house. Taxes going up, everything going, power going up, everything that, all the expenses associated with that house going up, as well as that colossal mortgage. Buyers just getting cold feet at the very end and not following through, not finishing, even walking away from earnest money deposits. So this is the state of things right now that they want to paint is great. Let's start cutting rates. I don't know, guys. Times are going to be tough this year in 24. I think, the stock market's going to be what it is. But consumers going to have it tough. Because everything's slanted one way, and it isn't toward us. So, let's stay positive. We're going to have a great year. But we're going to start talking a little bit more about being selective in the way we spend our money and the way we take care of ourselves as far as our finances, because this is not the time to be undereducated on how to handle your money, man. Every dollar means something now, and every dollar that's in your pocket, they're competing with you. They want your dollar. You want to hold on to your dollar, and you're getting bombarded with the message that you shouldn't, that you need to spend that money. Going to be a fascinating year in 2024, guys. Anyway, I've been rambling on here long enough. I'm over 15 minutes. That's it for the day, but we will be back tomorrow. It should be a fascinating day with this jobs report. Either way, we'll be here to bring you guys the news. As always, we appreciate your support. Please hit that like button. It helps us get our video out to more viewers. We'll be back tomorrow to bring you the news you need, guys. Till then, take care. Thanks.